the Alex Tuch thing. So yeah, Natchez signs for 11.5 for 8 years. And I think that's a good deal. Like, that's about what the rising cap, like, that's what somebody like Natchez you would expect, I think, to receive. So here's the thing. We pointed to it right away. Alex Tuch is more of a comparable for Natchez than I think a lot of people would want to believe. And I know Jesse was one of them. He was very much so in the camp that Natchez is a much better player. And I do think Natchez is better. Like, Natchez is a better hockey player than Tuch, I think. Or at least he's going to be over the course of that deal. Like, if they both sign 8-year deals, Natchez will be the better player.
He's also 3 years younger.
And yeah, the younger factor, yes. But listen, I think a big part of that is Natchez has unlocked a new level in Colorado. But he's playing with the second best player on the planet. And it's not really to take away from him. It's more so that, look, if you look at these players, if you isolate them individually, since 22, 23, they are very, very similar players. You know, not the greatest defensively, primarily offensive point producers, and primarily point producers kind of more so, well, I guess Tuch is kind of better in the first line role for the majority of his time here, where like Natchez was up and down with Carolina. In 249 games, in his last 249 games, this is not counting, this is the day, we tweeted this out. The day that Natchez signed that deal, in his last 249 games, he had 220 points. Tuch's last 241 games, he has 214 points. That's damn near identical. And those are the types of numbers that Alex Tuch and his agent will be bringing to the table in a negotiation. The number one driver for a contract in the NHL is which other contract is similar to the one that you seek. And this is going to be brought up. And this is what was said immediately after. This could be the closest contract comparable that Tuch will have, not named Alex Kempe. Whatever Kempe signs for, if he blinks first, that is what Alex Tuch will be signing for. And at the very least, and this is something that Elliot Friedman they basically said the next day on 32 Thoughts, Alex Tuch is making no less than, he's making double digits at the very least. On a long-term basis, on a 7 or 8 year deal, he's making $10 million minimum. And I think that's raised to, I think in a world where he takes a quote-unquote hometown discount at this point is 10.5. I think it's 10.5. Like, that would be the discount version, because you're looking at Natchez, and while Natchez is younger, slightly better, Tuch is, A, he has all the friggin' leverage in the world with Buffalo. He's got all of it. And B, UFA years are more expensive. He'd be maybe the hottest free agent on the market going into it. And maybe biggest of all, he's had a very modest contract for 8 years now. He's had maybe the best contract in hockey. And he's going to be, and as Friedman said on 32 Thoughts, he will be looking for, like, he's going to get his dollar amount in this deal, unless he suddenly takes a hometown discount. Like, this is what we're looking at here. And, man, Alex Tuch for 8 years at $11.5 million. Man, this changes the dynamic so much. And I just think it's, I basically said it in the last few episodes as we've talked about this. I'm on the Alex Tuch trade him train. Where, like, I just don't think that you cannot sign yourself up to that dollar amount. And it sucks. It sucks. But 8 years for somebody who's already 30, right? I think he's 30 at this point.
He's 29.
29. When's his birthday?
May. So
okay, so when he starts the deal,
starts
the deal next season, he would be 30.
Yeah.
And $11.5 million. I can't sign up for that. I can't. It's too much. You know, like I think two things. One, in the summer, his projections for an extension were like 9.8. And I remember there was debates about that. Was that too much over 7 or 8 years? Now we've gone up nearly $2 million. And I remember seeing, I think it was Dom from The Athletic, said in their contract model, his projection is not even double digits for like what a fair deal looks like. I mean, and that's a lot. That's a lot of money. That's a lot. That's not just going from 9.5 to 10.5. This is a substantial change in the dynamic.
They are more comparable than I thought. I mean, you're looking at the numbers. Nietzsche's his career high was last year's 83 points. Tuch's career high was 79 points. That was 22-23. He had 67 points last year. They're more comparable than you think. Nietzsche's has very good numbers on the power play, which helps him, but Tuch's also very good on the penalty kill.
Right, and that's the other thing, too. It's kind of like roles. Like, part of the reason Tuch has so much leverage is, like, the Sabres. And it's part of the reason why I understand people don't want to let go of him. Holy crap, is he important to the fabric of the team. Maybe,
that's
if Tage Thompson's playing center, he's your top right wing. He's on your first power play unit. In his time spent in Buffalo, this stretch that we're looking at now was the first time he hasn't been on the first unit. He's on your first PK unit. He's one of the leaders on the team. I get it. I totally understand why it's almost, for some people, you cannot let him go. You need to give him the blank check.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. It's that contract is insane to think about, but he's just such an integral part of this team. It would be a massive loss, and I don't think you're recreating that with any trade you do. Like it will be very hard to replace him, but signing him up for an age 37 season at $11.5 million is crazy. Like, I feel like if it wasn't 8 years, and let's just say it was 5 years, like, does that make you any more?
I think I would say
sign it?
Probably. But like, this is the conversation that we had a lot when, I think like 1 or 2 episodes ago, when I think it was when they had the 0-3 start, and we were bringing up like, hey, Tuch's going to be the first guy to go if they're bad. Like, you need to be realistic. What is your cup window? Like, what are we building towards at the end of the day? You can make your jokes, Sabres, hey, worry about the playoffs first. Worry about getting there. Yeah, I get that. But when you're making decisions like this, you need to be thinking like, hey, what are we signing up for here? What is our window? What are we building towards? What are these contracts going to look like, when we're in our window here? And like, your cup window with the Sabres is, like we said, like, you probably want to make the playoffs this year. Next year, you would hopefully be building towards, hey, win a round or two, probably just one round. You probably want to stack a round win every year, ideally, right? So that means in 3 to 4 years, you begin your cup window. And it's like in 4 years' time, Tuch's going to be 34, making $11.5 million when other big contracts, Tage Thompson will be nearing the end of his deal. He'll be looking for his last big payday. Zach Benson will be in his extension, maybe. Josh Doan. I mean, my God, what does a Josh Doan contract extension look like? I mean, you should probably get on that right now. Michael Kesselring, what does his contract extension look like? And players that you acquire in the future. Like, I know, it's hard to talk about a Sabres Cup window when you don't... it goes without saying. It's tough to talk about that. It can be a funny conversation, but when you're making an evaluation like this, when you're deciding what Alex Tuch is for your team moving forward, you need to be discussing it. And him making $11.5 million at that age, at that point in time, could be a huge road. I feel like it would be a huge roadblock. You know, like we're living through his best seasons right now.
Yeah, I mean, if he was 3 years younger, you probably sign up for that deal.
Probably, you probably say, hey, the 8th year would be when he's 35.
Yeah,
You'd probably be like, well, in a rising cap world, by the end of it, he's probably still worth that. I don't know. I mean, especially Tuch, so much of his game is speed, and he's not so much a physical power forward, but hey, he blocks a lot of shots. He does take some sort of. He plays a very high octane style. How is that going to age? I would maybe argue not so gracefully. He probably. He would have to. There's only not many players turn into Corey Perry, where you just completely change your style from one of the best snipers and sort of power forwards in hockey to becoming like a net front demon. I think that would be like a model for Alex Tuch. But at the same time, Corey Perry wasn't making double-digit figures for the Oilers and the Stars and the Lightning, or not the Lightning, the Habs in their cup runs. Like he was on minimum value deals.
Yeah. At the end of his deal, this is a weird comparison, but at the end of his deal, he would be older than Kyle Poso than he is right now. Kyle Poso was the oldest guy on our team in or other than Craig Anderson, he was
crazy
36?
way of framing it.
He was 35 or 36, but it's like I understand Tuch is better than Okposo, but
also not, no concussion issues. That wasn't
Yeah.
Okposo wasn't your average age decline.
Yeah, I'm just saying right now, Okposo's 37. You would have Tuch in his age 38 year, and by most NHL standards, you would say Okposo is very old to play in the NHL and was past his prime and wasn't as effective as a player. This isn't, I hope Tuch is still an impactful player by that point, but it's like he's going to be 38 by the end of that deal. He's such an integral part of this team that I don't think you can afford to lose him right now. And I think you could even make that argument for the next few years. But that back half of the deal, I think, can look very bad very quickly. And I think that's the main concern with this. It's not that he's not valuable to this team now. You're not replacing him. He's one of your best players. I mean, if you're thinking about our top 3-on-3 unit last night, it was Tuch, Tage, and Dahlin. Those are your 3 best players.
Mm-hmm.
You lose him, you're losing a lot. He's one of the best players. He's a leader. He does so much for this team. That's not what this contract conversation's about. It's about the back half of the deal.
I mean, that's what makes it tough. It's not like I don't want to write off. It's like, all right, well, that's it for Tuch as a Sabre. Sorry. It's like, man, this sucks. But it's like, where this leads. It's not going to be worth it. There's that's a perfect cup window where it's 3 to 4 years. Maybe Tuch does age a bit more gracefully, and he can give you another 60, 70-point season at that age. But it's such a tight margin for error. There's no way he's worth that $11.5 million by the end of the deal. And it sucks, dude. It sucks that they've wasted this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he might be on the best contract in hockey these past few years. Everybody talks about Tage. Everybody talks about Jack Hughes. Everybody talks about Cale Makar. Everybody talks about best contracts in terms of superstar, what superstars do in relation to their AAV. Alex Tuch making $4.75 million. I think that's what he makes. I know it's in the 4. It's 4 point something. Him making that, especially in his years as a Sabre, where he's become a first line player, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, that is maybe the best value contract in hockey. And you've just kind of squandered it, and like you said, like now you're walking into a situation. He has all the leverage, and you're buying UFA years, and he can, like, he walks in, like everything we're saying about him. He walks into, maybe not him personally, but his agent walks into that room saying the same thing, where it's like he's such an integral piece. He's on your top line a lot of nights. He's on your first power play unit most of the time. He's on your first PK unit. He's a leader. He's big in the community, this and that. It's like, it's either you pay up to him or you don't. You're not going to be able to, you can't do like a, I don't know, like a Mikko. I know Mikko Rantanen was traded twice before he accepted his offer, but you can't, you're not going to be in a situation where Tuch relents and is like, well, all right, I'm clearly not going to get this number. I'll take $1 million or $2 million lower.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. You just, for this team right now, and we're trying to break a playoff drought and hopefully build towards something. I just don't think you can lose him. The dollar amount is crazy, and I know you should be thinking about that end of the contract, but man, I mean, I think we should just worry about the team right now, and hopefully we can build towards something. And look, there's a lot of contracts that are signed after like a team actually wins something, and they look very bad, but it's like, oh, you've already won something. You've already accomplished the goal. Like, this is, once again, crazy to think of. If the Sabres were to win the Stanley Cup in 5 years, and then the next 3 years we have Tuch at 11.5, I don't think anybody would care.
No.
But
how likely
you would
is
have
that,
to actually
though?
get that.
It's like, yeah.
I know. It's a tough situation to be put in no matter what. The Sabres put themselves in a situation. They should have extended him a lot earlier.
Yeah.
I was wrong about that. Christian was wrong about that. You were the only one pretty much saying that, but
yeah,
they should have done it last season. It shouldn't have just been this summer.
My thing, I mean, by the start of the season, I was like, okay, they're clearly effing around with the dollar amount, which is like, it kind of appears that way. Like, it, from everything Friedman was saying and like kind of what others have been saying, like it kind of seems like if they had been willing to go like 10, maybe 10.5, like this would have been done in the summer. Like, I think there's a chance like maybe it could have been done for under 10, but you're probably looking like it was probably looking to be around $10 million. They could have done that in the summer. They did not meet all the necessary qualifications, like bonuses or whatever. Like, as I put it in, I think either I forget which episode it was, but they fucked around with the dollar amount. That's basically what they did, and now it's going to burn them. They will not get him for that same amount. Natchez, I mean, you can look at Kaprizov, you can look at Natchez. They've reset the markets, and Tuch only gains a higher price as every day passes. Especially with, he's been off to a great start with the Sabres this year. Like, we talk about Dahlin, we talk about Tage, we talk about Power. Like, these are guys that are not playing their best hockey. Alex Tuch's playing his best hockey. He looks great. He looks like a guy playing in a contract year. And like you said, he's on one of the best lines in hockey right now.
Yep. It's a bad situation to be in. It's, as it goes on longer, it's probably going to get worse. And as you get closer to the trade deadline, decisions will have to be made. So it's, as the days go on, this conversation will become less and less fun. And I know even like in our big group chat, a lot of people are saying, it's trade talk, like that dollar value is ridiculous for him. It's tough to disagree. Like, I think, I know you're firmly on that. I am at the point where I don't think you can lose him, but I understand that contract value is just, it's too high for what he actually is and what he actually will be. But I'll bring up a saying that I personally hate. The cap is going up. So if the cap keeps going up, it might not be as impactful as you might think.
It's like you have to address that, but also like I feel like these teams have cap projections, so I guess you would maybe have to trust them if they sign this deal. But I don't know. I feel like that's a cop-out answer. Sort of. Like, it's not wrong. Like, his 11 million, 11 and a half today is going to be worth a lot less in a few years by the end of that deal. But, like, how much less?
Well, I agree. I hate when people say that, actually. I don't even like I think we've said that in the past, and not even to point anybody out in particular, but I think you've said that in the past, and I don't like that argument.
Yeah.
But I do think it's always a valid argument. I just think it's a dumb one.
Yeah, it's dumb. Anyway, sign Benson and Doan ASAP, because their dollar amount will not be worth the same. I mean, genuinely, I joke about it. Like, what are we like? You should not wait. If the Tuch stalemate, or if the Tuch negotiation is a stalemate now, what else are you doing right now in your day-to-day life? Like, I guess, like, they're not making long-term decisions with the current staff, but, like, God, that would suck, because Benson and especially Doan, like, I guess Benson you want to see more of to see what he is, but, like, Doan is like, dude, sign this guy now.
Yeah, he's an RFA next year.
I don't even know what Doan's comparable would be, which is, like, that's the best situation to be in. His contract negotiation would probably be so.
Actually, both of them are. They're both RFAs.
Yeah, that's my point. Like, they're both eligible for extensions.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's going to be the worst part of this. You didn't get Tuch done. Next summer, Benson and Doan are probably not going to kill you in cap. Like, they shouldn't, but they'll cost more every passing day.
Yep, I will agree with that.